Welcome back to Vision in the Valley. I hope that you have had a chance to hear me talking about finding revelation and inspiration and motivation in just everyday things. I hope that you've also had an opportunity to listen to episodes where I'm talking about my specific love language that the Lord and I share when He's instructing me how to do the thing I need to do, or what my next thing is, or to drive home what my purpose is. And so today I wanted to talk about all of those things, and specifically how the enemy will try to throw you off. So when you've outlined in your mind what you think you need to be doing, and then the Lord has given you a word, He's used other people to encourage you, that, again, going back to that, identify what your love language is with the Lord. He's speaking to you and telling you, yes, move forward in your purpose. This is the thing I need you to do. And once you've aligned yourself with what His purpose is for you, things start to take off. They start to take off in His amazing way, just doors opening. Your gifts are being stirred up, and you're finding that the thing that you love to do is now in alignment with the thing you've been called to do. And you're thinking to yourself, like, wow, this is what divine planning is all about, right? And so there's an episode I have that talks about the planning process, that our God is so into us that He plans every detail of our lives. But today, again, I wanted to just jump into when you have become in alignment. So you're thinking to yourself, as soon as I am in tune, as soon as I am in alignment, things will be so much easier. But the truth is, once that happens, you are like an elevated status. So the enemy's tricks, or the enemy's motivation to knock you over has changed. It's also elevated. And it's like, oh, this is an incredible thing for me to be looking forward to, right? The higher I go, the harder the triumphs will be, or the task or the test will be. But instead of looking at it that way, you have to look at it in the real way, which is that once you become in tune and aligned with your purpose, your life has meaning in a different way. That job that you were doing before was just a job, and now it becomes your life's work. So that's a perfect segue, actually, into the thing that I've been doing. So I have given birth to two major things. One is this podcast, and the other is this desire and the fulfillment of that desire to change my workplace. So 5 years ago, I started on a career move completely different from anything I've ever done before. And it was out of a sense of urgency that I began this journey. Part of the journey was because I had a bad experience at this particular hospital and was dying, essentially, had a life-saving procedure, and thought to myself, after meeting the doctor and dealing with the doctor, saying, I want to be a part of that team where people are out there doing what I just did. They almost died or are dying and will refuse to go and seek help at this location because of the culture that's around it. So now that I know that that's not true for every single person working there, because I've met this great doctor and she saved my life, I want to partner with her. So I literally went on a mission to work at my now company. And to help me along with that was a very dear friend, I call her a sister, who had encouraged me, Sherry Hargraves. We've known each other, we're sisters because we've known each other for almost 30 years. At this point in my life, she was telling me to go and apply for a job, not a particular job, but a job at this location. And she worked there at another site. And I just was like, oh, no, that's not really the thing I want to do. But the Lord had all of this planned because her encouragement, along with the now renewed faith in this system, I embarked on this new journey. And there is a lot to the journey. But today, I want to talk about the 5 years that I fast forward to. So I've been with the company for now 5 years. And when I finally got the job, it was not the job that I would have thought that ever to pursue. In fact, it was an entry level position. And I've mentioned this on other episodes. I'm mentioning it now because it was 5 years that I asked the Lord to use me. 5 years that I said, I don't know how I'm going to get to the people that matter. I don't know how I'm going to change the behavior or be the model for the behavior or talk to someone who can make the changes. I had no idea because, again, the job that I was assigned to in that moment, in that season, was a very entry level job. But because our God is sovereign, because he is all knowing, and because he's just that into us and just that into the detail, he had me come into this workplace at this entry level 5 years ago. And I remember when I got my first promotion, that was a victory in and of itself. And there is an episode completely devoted to that part of it because it's what caused my spiritual journey to go in from like neutral to whatever the drive is that's bigger than drive one. That's what escalated, catapulted me into my next season spiritually and financially, both things. But during this time, I couldn't see, ultimately I wanted to change the system. I wanted to be the person to say, listen, guys, I know that there are other people out here. I almost died. And the thing that kept me from coming back here happened 20 years ago. It happened 20 plus years ago. But it was so life-changing that I wouldn't come back. And so I know other people are feeling this. So I am here because I finally found out that there are other people who are caring, who are putting the patients first, who care about the dignity and respect being given back to the patient. I mean, that's what it's all about. I don't care what role you have in a hospital setting. You're a special kind of person because the people, your customers, are people who are ill, or they're people who are trying to prevent an illness, or there are people who are coming to show love and to love on someone who is ill. So everything about your job, no matter what role you play, is important. It's nothing like that kind of customer service. You can't compare your customer service to any other customer service. So for 5 years, I have been asking the Lord, show me how to do this. Connect me to the people that I can talk to, because I know if I get in front of them and tell them my story, they're gonna listen. Just give me the opportunity. And so as I went through my journey here, the Lord allowed me to meet senior leaders, middle management, colleagues, and then of course, those that I also were able to mentor to myself. And I'm meeting a lot of people, and it's so funny because people make fun of walking with me down the hallway like you're the mayor, like you're shaking hands and kissing babies. And the truth of the matter is that is a very natural way for me to do anything. Like I'm very, that's my personality. I'm engaging. I may not remember every name, but I remember every face, and I remember the conversations that we had. And I know that when people talk with me, they remember that I remember. So again, 5 years asking the Lord to allow me to do this beautiful thing for him, because I know it's God's work, because this place, on top of needing that, needs some other things too in terms of the work environment. So begging the Lord to use me and to make me worthy to be used. 5 years, you guys, 5 years. So this year, the Lord does what only the Lord can do. And the short version of this story is that I am now working with the Chief Experience Officer to create a model that will train the trainers who will go out and train the people to not only be kinder to each other, meaning the employees, and to understand what we are going through, what we've gone through. And then the second challenge, of course, is to be better to our patients, and working hand in hand with the Chief Experience Officer. And she has given me room to be creative. No barriers, like do this thing you're passionate about, have your way with this thing. And I'm kind of calm right now as I say this, but please understand that the weight of this thing is not lost on me. And I come directly into this particular episode with this kind of passion early on because I almost missed it. I've been waiting 5 years for the opportunity to be in front of the people who will make the decision. And not only did I get an opportunity to be in front of those people, I am included. I'm included. It's one other person working on this model, the Chief Experience Officer. And she and I are putting together this model that will go out to the thousands. And I say this to you. I waited 5 years. I longed 5 years for just an opportunity to be around the people who would do it, much less be the person that's doing it, right? The position for Director of Patient Experience came on the job board. And my heart started to flutter because I thought to myself, everything that's listed on this job is literally the thing I came here to do. Lord, are you talking to me? Are you talking to me? And I would talk with my colleagues and my friends at work who definitely knew how I was passionate about this. And then of course, folks outside of work, they were hearing about it. Like, this is incredible. And then I had to say to myself, as time had gone by, because it's been a couple of years, and guess what? The Chief Experience Officer didn't even, the role wasn't even one that was filled at this particular hospital yet. And so I had to say to myself, if you're doing God's work, if you're walking in your purpose, it doesn't really matter if you are called the Director of Patient Experience, as long as the roles that are listed on that piece of paper, as long as that's being fulfilled, you are completing your assignment. So do not get boxed into thinking that it has to be called this, being trapped by the packaging, right? So don't get stuck on it having to be the director. You could call it whatever, but if you're walking in your purpose, if you're fulfilling that, then you've completed your assignment, right? You're walking in your purpose. And so I have been just overwhelmed. Like, some moments I'll go like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. And if you talk to me in that moment, you get all of the passion around it. And then I should say to you that while all of this was happening, I ended up getting the second condo below me. So I'm on the third floor, the penthouse of this building. And then the second floor had become available. So I have 2 floors now. And it was also my heart's desire. And again, it's also on another episode. I went from having no worries in terms of finances to now having this additional payment of $2,200. This is before, utility bills or any of the other bills I already have been incurring. And I said, I'm going to take this leap of faith. I'm going to walk. I'm going to do this thing. And if you listen to the other episodes, you'll understand why exactly I did that. But now I've got a challenge where my money isn't matching how I'm living just yet. It's not there. Nothing's changed in the way of my salary prior to me taking on this second floor. And so it has been such a challenge for me because the people who I am leasing it from are good people. And I don't want them to suffer because I'm not paying it or that I'm paying it slow. And then I've got these other bills that didn't have any late payments or anything. And now they're calling. I haven't had bill collectors call me and I don't know how long. Yet here I am. And so I thought, every day I'm going to work with my phone on silent because I don't want my phone ringing with these bill collectors while I'm in the office, right? And so I'm in this state. I'm used to shopping. I'm used to gifting really big. I'm used to treating people. And now all of a sudden I can't do any of those things. And so I'm feeling this sense of regret. And then I'm feeling this sense of almost like a little bit of embarrassment. Like, did I move too soon? And certainly this sense of stress. And all of those things together are keeping me from thinking about the biggest picture ever, which is that the thing I've longed for 5 years is right in front of me. That's incredible. So am I going to allow a bill collector call and disrupt my joy? Am I going to allow the fear of like, did I move too soon to throw me off balance and not create this model that I've been longing to do for 5 years? And that is essentially what I've been doing. I have been worried about the payments, about my credit score, about my bank account this entire time now, don't get me wrong, I've been thanking the Lord for the opportunity. It'll come in waves like, oh, thank you, Lord. And then when the bill collector calls, like, oh my gosh, my stomach is, I don't know if you're like me, but my stomach will do this thing when I'm anxious or nervous. And so I'm like, I feel it in my gut. But that's the enemy. We are going to be launching this model in just another week. I'll say another 2 weeks. This is a time that I'm supposed to be tweaking, perfecting, timing, and getting my little props together, getting my ideas together, the creative part of me doing its thing. And instead of doing that, instead of engaging my mind, my spirit, my heart into that, I've got pieces of me on concentrating on this or thinking about that or being sad. Like, are you serious? You are telling me, as I speak to myself, that you waited all this time for the opportunity and it's presented itself. And instead of basking in the victory that the Lord has allowed you to have, you claim victory in His name and it's right here. And instead of jumping, leaping, I'm walking in my purpose so assuredly that my feet barely touch the ground. That's what should be happening. But I'm going to allow a bill. Is my God not greater than any bill? Have you not had bills before? This is what I'm saying to myself. You couldn't pay bills before. And did He take care of you? Absolutely. And not only did He take care of me, He took me from what that was to what it is now. And so the same God that brought me out the last time and the last time and the time before that. How about this? The God who planned my journey at work so that I'm able to do the very thing I was called to do. That same God, that God surely can take care of rent, surely can take care of a credit card bill. And I know that there is someone going through this exactly the same way. It may not be that it's your job. It may be some other area of your life that you've been praying for and just saying, Lord, just build me up so that I can be used. I want to be a vessel. I want to be a vessel. And then He has done given you exactly what you wanted. It's right in front of your face. But because the enemy knows that if you walk in your purpose, that this thing is going to be great, he will use every opportunity to knock you off of your square. And the enemy is a liar. I rebuke confusion, anxiousness, doubt, worry, anything that takes you out of alignment with God.
So this just really reminds me of that old saying of throwing the baby out with the bathwater. We know that when we bathe baby, the water is going to get dirty, and we wouldn't throw the good baby out with the bad water. We would preserve baby because that's important to us, and we would discard the dirty bath water. We'd never be so short focused that we would allow ourselves to get rid of the baby along with the dirty bath water. I'm going to just go a little step further. When you have a baby, when you have a gift, this baby, right, you know that assignment includes bathing the baby. So if I know that when I have this baby, a part of my assignment is to give baby a bath, what comes along with the bath? Dirty water. So I am aware of my assignments already. I know that I'm going to get some dirty water. I'm going to expect the dirty water, and I'm going to know that I'm going to bathe my baby because it's a part of my assignment, and I'm going to discard the water when it's done. I'm not going to be shocked that there's dirty water because dirty water goes along with bathing a baby, right? And so when I move in my purpose, if I'm in alignment with God and I'm working in my purpose, walking in my purpose, living in my purpose, I'm going to get some dirty water. That's just what goes along with this assignment. Dirty things, bad things happen, things that throw you off course, things that make you want to focus in on that instead of the gift that was given, the baby that was given. So if I am in alignment and walking in my purpose, I already know to be looking for that dirty bath water, so to speak. And if that's the case, if I'm looking for it, I should be able to separate that from my baby without it being any kind of confusion whatsoever. You know a baby and you know dirty bath water. So I should know that I'm in the midst of my fulfillment with this assignment and not get stuck on this negative. So I am encouraging you to be sure not to throw your baby out with the bathwater. I'll talk to you soon.